This is a story of Christmas, of a man, Ebenezer Scrooge, who hated Christmas, but learned to love it, or rather, was taught to love it. Nobody liked Scrooge. He was a mean old man. He loved no one and he gave nothing. He despised merriment and happiness. He was as cold as the cold grave. One Christmas Eve, Scrooge was given a chance to change, a chance to live. Will he take it? Well, that's up to you. It was cold, biting weather, and Scrooge sat in his counting house. He was determined to wring the last few hours of work out of his clerk, Bob Cratchit, before the Christmas holiday began. Bob sat shivering in his corner of the office. His fire was almost out and he ached for some warmth. He longed for the clock to strike 6, the signal that he could finally go home. For tomorrow was Christmas Day and Bob loved Christmas. But as he looked up at the hands of the clock, they seemed to go slower and slower. put a piece of coal into the fire and immediately began to feel warmer. Scrooge glared at him, but Bob was writing in his ledger as though nothing had happened. Luckily, at that very moment the door swung open and in walked the old man's nephew, Fred. "Merry Christmas, Uncle!" cried Fred cheerily. "I have come to invite you to Christmas dinner." Scrooge was having none of it. "Bah humbug," came the sour reply. But Fred wasn't put off so easily, and he promised his uncle that if he changed his mind, the invitation would remain open. With that he left, wishing Bob Cratchit a Merry Christmas on the way. "And a Merry Christmas to you too," called Bob with a cheery smile. Scrooge was furious when he discovered his clerk had been playing games instead of working. But once again, Bob was saved by circumstances. For at that very moment, two gentlemen collecting donations for the poor came visiting. Scrooge growled and sent them packing, empty-handed with another "Bah humbug." Bob felt sorry for the gentlemen, but was delighted when the clock announced it was finally time to go home. He wished Scrooge a Merry Christmas and danced out of the grim office. Scrooge muttered, put on his hat and scarf, and ventured out into the city. Scrooge left his office in high spirits. Twice he had rebuffed Christmas cheer. He allowed himself a wry smile. Little did he know that his good mood was about to change. ghost rushed towards Scrooge. Thinking it a very ill omen, he hurried on upstairs. Scrooge was relieved to be home at last. As was his custom every evening, he sat down to a bowl of gruel. It was the cheapest way of warming his old bones. This evening he hoped it would also banish the peculiar events of his journey home. The ghost of old Jacob Marley appeared from the tiles. He was desperate to warn Scrooge of the fate that awaited him if he did not change his ways. But Scrooge refused to believe in ghosts. It was going to be hard to make him change his mind. He wrote off Marley's ghostly appearance as a bout of indigestion. And now he decided he was going to sleep it off. Marley's ghost was at a loss. What could he do to make Scrooge really believe there was a ghost in the room? Marley's ghost told his old friend how misguided they had both been in life, caring only for money. He uttered a terrible warning. If you would escape a fate like mine, you'd best listen to what I say. As the clock strikes 1, you'll be visited by 3 different ghosts. Learn from what they show you, or, like me, you will be doomed to walk the earth with chains around your neck. And with that, Marley's ghost flew away through the window. Scrooge sat stunned upon his bed. The big clock in the hallway announced the terrible hour, 1 o'clock. At once a shiny bright spirit appeared right in front of Scrooge's eyes. "I am the ghost of Christmas past," it said solemnly. "Come with me." The ghost of Christmas past took Scrooge on a journey back into his childhood. Scrooge looked on in astonishment. It was the snowbound country lane down which he had walked every morning to school as a small boy. But his joy quickly turned to sadness as he recalled how lonely those childhood years had really been. A couple of boys were playing in the snow. "Look closely, Scrooge," said the ghost. Scrooge peered at the boys and with a gasp realized, "It's me, a child again. I'm making a snowman." "Go and help," suggested the ghost. be more fun than a game of snowballs, Scrooge, smiled the ghost. You do remember fun, don't you? The ghost smiled at Scrooge's newfound sense of joy. He motioned for Scrooge to follow, and the scene changed again, from snowy cold to glorious warmth. Scrooge opened his eyes, and for a second could not believe them. 20 years had gone by in a flash. "Do you recognize this, Ebenezer?" asked the ghost. Scrooge did. It was the Christmas party at Fezziwig's where he had worked as a young man. Here was merriment in all its glory. Scrooge felt quite young again, and remembered that all he'd wanted was to dance with Belle, the beautiful girl in the blue dress. Mr. Fezziwig was in the very best of moods. He wanted to give away prizes and enticed everyone to come and join in the games. Ebenezer knew that if he won a prize, he could offer it to the lady. That might just give him the courage he lacked.